Hi, I'm Dave Scott, and hello Peter and Christelle and all the Atmosphere members and staff. I've been out there the last 2 years and have had an opportunity to talk to a lot of you and also do some classes with you. Over the next maybe 6 or 7 months, I've kind of coordinated some chats with Peter and hopefully share some information with you. And the topic today is the immune system. And when we talk about the immune system, a lot of people say, gee, my immunity is not very good, I'm vulnerable to colds, sickness, and so on. And that's exactly right. That's one element of the immune system. So I kind of want to go through what an explanation it is of the immune system, how it affects your overall health, and foods that you can avoid that really will override your immune system, and also foods that you can enhance. And I'm going to send handouts with this talk so that you'll have a supplement to look at, and I know that Peter and the staff can disseminate this information if you'd like some more data on what I'm covering. So let's take a look. I've got a board here in the back, and I apologize for my writing, but hopefully it's okay. When we talk about the immune system, there's kind of 3 general areas. One, and this is kind of a fluffy term, it really controls your quality of life. And you think, okay, that sounds too grandiose, but it actually does. If your gut and your brain are not in harmony, it affects everything. And I'll kind of get into the other areas. The second thing is that if your gut harmony, and I talk about your gut, your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, and leading up to the brain, if that's not in harmony with your brain, then it's going to affect the aging process. And it really accelerates the aging process if your gut microbe is not in harmony. And I keep using this harmony, and that it needs to be maximized so that your immune system is optimized. It controls every bodily function. So when you think of hormones, you think of digestive system, reproductive system, excretory system, cardiovascular system. Your immune system is really number one. So a lot of times when physicians look at an issue that you may have, really the first question that you should ask them is, my immune system strong, and am I doing everything to enhance my immune system? So those are the 3 areas. So there's this gut-brain microbe connection. In other words, our body has billions of microbes that are circulating through our systemic system, through our bloodstream, and they really originate once we process food in our stomach. And there's this connection via the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve connects the stomach to the brain. So anything that you put into your stomach or anything that you're abusing, your gut's going to start processing that. It's going to send a signal to the brain that says, gee, it makes me feel good, or I don't feel very good. And it also opens Pandora's box for a number of things that can happen if you have a weak immune system. So this blood-brain connection is very, very strong, and your gut communicates with the brain. And this is really, really key. So we look at different illnesses that you may have, even an infection, skin, the pallor of your skin, if you have acne, if you have any kind of rash, that affects your immune system. If your hands are really, really dry, if you're susceptible for bacteria or viruses, stress and moods, anxiety is affected by this gut-brain connection or your immune system. So when we look at it, you think, wow, what is not connected with him? Nothing. Everything is connected with your immune system. So if we look at things that you should avoid, and I put down here immune disasters, what really sends your immune system in a spiraling black hole? First off, eating an excessive amount of carbohydrates, particularly carbohydrates that are really high in fructose. And I've had a discussion about this before, and I put down one. I also have a second byline here on fructose. One of the single worst things that you can take in is a really, really refined sugar. And agave nectar is touted as a miracle sweetener, and it actually has the highest level of fructose of all sugars. So we can look at agave on one end as the highest, a lemon on the other end as the lowest one in fructose. And this fructose, without getting into discussion on this, fructose is digested differently than the other sugars. A calorie is not a calorie. And so when we digest fructose, it bypasses the liver, and a lot of times it will lay down the outcome of excessive fructose, it'll lay down visceral fat or fat around the organs, and it increases the circulating blood fats, which is really catastrophic. So your gut has to try to process these excessive amount of carbohydrates. So we really need to reduce the amount of carbohydrates. And on the bottom of this of the list here, I put down eat healthy fats and also good protein. So let's come back up here to the disastrous ones. All fructose. Fructose is in all fruit drinks, sodas, fruit and teas. Any of the sweetened drinks that are on the market are really a catastrophe for your immune system. I put down artificial sweeteners, so take a look at any packaged food that you have, and certainly in the fruit juice category or sugars or sugar-laden food, packaged foods, if you have cakes or crackers, a lot of times they will have artificial sweeteners in there to also enhance the flavoring, but the shelf life as well. Those are bad for your immune system. The third one on here, hydrogenated oils. And we can take a really good oil and overcook it. It becomes hydrogenated, and that increases the shelf life. So hydrogenated oils, palm kernel oils that are hydrogenated, soybean oil that's hydrogenated, really catastrophic for you. I also put French fries on here as well. Packaged foods, which I just had mentioned, try to eat whole foods. And when we talk about whole foods, when you go to the market, go to the vegetables and the fruits first. And when I get to the healthy list, I'll identify a few. I have a master list that you'll all have access to, which will identify the nutritional disasters and also the healthy foods. And then the last one is all the non-fat food that is out on the market. And that includes non-fat milk, non-fat yogurt, non-fat crackers. You're better off having the fat, because generally when in the cooking process, when they strip the fat, we need the healthy fats. And even in a packaged food, if you're getting that, have a little bit of fat in there. But we want to eliminate the packaged hydrogenated fat or the saturated fat that's in the packaged food. However, when we look at enhancing your immune system, I'm going to the bottom of the list first. We need healthy fats. So we talk about healthy fats. We need coconut oil. We need avocados. We need nuts, walnuts, cashews, macadamia nuts. Those are all healthy fats. Grass-fed beef, cold water fish, salmon and mackerel and tuna. Those are all healthy fats. Our body needs that. Our immune system actually needs these healthy fats. So someone who gravitates to a low-fat diet, it compromises their immune system. Let's go back to the top of the list on immune health. A probiotic. A probiotic enhances the flora or the microbes in your stomach. And you can get 5 billion, 10 billion, 15 billion. The research says that you should at least have 30 billion of these active microbes. So you can go into your health food store, go to the refrigerated area, get 30 billion of the probiotic. And I put down on your handouts, it should be 50% of this what's called bifidobacterium. So you don't have to remember that now, but take a look. Peter and Christelle will have this, the staff will have this at Atmosphere. Eat fermented foods, and there's lots of different fermented foods. Probably a lot of you are familiar with kefir. That's one. Sauerkraut. Anything that's fermented is good for your stomach. I put down a couple other types of foods, and again I have a massive list. Coconut oil, which I mentioned, kefir, kimchi, leafy green vegetables are also good, and you can get those fermented. Sauerkraut's a prime example. Red cabbage fermented is very, very good for you. Lastly, the healthy fats, and this is a topic that I'll be discussing later on with all the membership, is that we need to shift our diet from a high carbohydrate to a higher, healthier fat. And the higher, healthier fats are ones that I just mentioned. We need to have moderate, good protein every day, but if we can shift that huge scale of carbohydrate intake, and I will mention one last thing. One of the worst things that you can do to your immune system is to eat a lot of sugar right before you go to bed. When you go to bed, that will elevate your cortisol levels, and typically at sunrise, the cortisol levels naturally rise a little bit, but they will be really heightened throughout the night. And what that does is that lowers your production of human growth hormone and also testosterone. So for both genders, it affects bone density and it affects immune health as well. So if you have something tonight, have a healthy fat. Have a small handful of nuts before you go to bed if you're hungry, as opposed to a massive bowl of ice cream. Anyway, I hope that helps on your immune system. I always address my athletes. and making sure that their immune system is optimized all the time so that their defense mechanism, when they're exercising, when they're training, when they're traveling, when they're under a lot of stress, how is your immune system? I hope that helps.